Wow. We celebrate this day.
Well, we're going to try to do this. We just, start out reading Galatians 2:20 from the Passion Translation. My old identity has been co-crucified with Messiah, who and no longer lives, for the nails of his cross has crucified me with him. And the essence of this new life is now no longer mine, for the Anointed One lives his life through me. We live in union as one. My new life is empowered by the faith of the Son of God, who loves me so much that he gave himself for me and dispenses his life into mine. So I'm going to share with you part of my journey as of becoming the bride of Christ and my identity as the bride of Christ. It comes out of a place of seeking intimacy with the Lord, and it also comes out of walking and working and having a passion for victims of sex trafficking, working on the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and also working with girls that have been impregnated by their pimps. The Lord has put this desire and this thing inside of me that says, we get to be co-crucified with Christ. Our union with Christ is the closest union possible. But how in the world do we receive the co-crucifixion of Christ? How do we receive it? You see, the Lord has put this thing inside of me that says that the church has shamed intercourse between a man and a woman, and the world has perverted it. But you see, God has a...
No, hold the hand a little higher.
Oh, okay. God has a beautiful design that he's declaring to the world through the actual act of marriage. You see, the act of marriage is meant to display the cross and the gospel.
Wow.
It's actually meant to display how we receive the union with Christ. Because Christ came, he disrobed of his Godhead. He was God, but Philippians 2 says he did not consider equality with God something to be grasped. Instead, he took the nature of a servant, laying it aside. He became obedient to death, even death on our cross. He disrobed. He disrobed. And he got on the cross. And he welcomes us to a place to receive. He didn't just call us to be roommates. He called us to, he wants to live inside you. He wants to dispense his life inside you. He wants to come and dwell and live inside you. You see, in the temple of the Holy, there was the Holy of Holies, the innermost room, the place where the King of Kings dwelt, the Lord of Lords was. And in that place, only one could enter once a year, and it was only the high priest who was purified. He had to go in covenant, and he had to go in a place where he had already said, I belong to you and you belong to me. And now Jesus comes to earth and he disrobes of his Godhead, and he now becomes the high priest who enters into the veil of the Holy of Holies, the innermost courts, and it gets to come inside of you. Because you see, the cross penetrated the veil to the innermost place, the courts of the living God, where he spills out his Holy Spirit seed. It pours out, and now it fills us with new life. It fills us with life abundant, and out of us flows children that look not just like him, but look like you and him, because the two become one. It's a mystery, you see. So he kisses you with identity. He kisses you and he declares you as righteous. He declares you. He says, you're beautiful. You are love. You are patient. You are kind. You are beautiful. And he beckons you and calls you, disrobe of the old man. Disrobe of it. Let me come inside. Let me dispense my life inside of you, an utter yielding of yourself.
Wow.
It's in trust because it's in a safety covenant. You see, the blood was shed and it set a consummate sacrifice. In Romans 5, it says it's a consummate sacrifice. It's a blood covenant that he made in sweet surrender, where he declared us as faithful. He declared himself as faithful. I take you for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, till death do us part. We're not going to part. We're one. And in that place, it's uncomfortable to receive the cross in our co-crucifixion at first. But what he does is it becomes bliss. It becomes bliss, and in the moment of bliss, his seed implants inside of us. And now we get to walk around showing life abundant, life out of us. And guess what? It's nothing you do. It's only something you receive. Because he spills out his seed, and you just get to open up and trust him. And utter yielding of yourself to receive the truth of our cross that he died on. Yeah. You see, he's beckoning us to his bride. Not to live not to live side by side, but to live spirit to spirit, just like a man and wife are called to live flesh to flesh. They don't just become one mind and body, or mind and soul. They become one mind, body, and soul. You see, we're called to come in this place of, I surrender. I just completely yield to the cross in this situation. I completely, I am no longer that old man. I am no longer, I'm no longer bitterness. I just robe of it. And now I get to receive your love seed to become the one that is love to the person next to me. I get to receive the seed that says, look, my children, they look beautiful. My fruit looks beautiful. And it's not by works so that no one should boast. Because you are one with the King of Kings. You are one with the Lord of Lords. And now you walk in authority because you have his name.
Come on.
And I'm going to end with this.
Wow. You can keep going.
One thing to you, bride. He's drawing you into his intoxicating love. You have access into the bridegroom's chambers. He has invited you into his presence to encounter the lover of your soul. There he tells you sweet, wonderful mysteries untold. There he calls out your identity, lovely, flawless, and bold. Disrobed of his Godhead, the bridegroom beckons to his bride. Throw off the garments of the old nature, and I will come inside. It's where the two become one. It's a mystery you see, when God became man to set his bride free.